Okay, welcome to today's video. This is going to be another one of those look into my service style videos where I basically just take a video that I have already sent a client, I leave it unedited, and I just post it on YouTube. These videos, I like to really make these just because I think it gives people a look into the world of what it's like to work with me as a coach, to look at kind of what my service is like, how I communicate with clients, get a kind of a sneak peek at some of the programming and things like that we're doing here at Rocket Strength. Now this video specifically is going to be a video I sent my client Genesis Salver. We basically have finished our previous macrocycle. We finished kind of a long string of blocks. We've kind of worked our way up to an end point, and now we are pulling back and kind of hitting the reset button as we ramp into a meet early next year. So this video actually is just the block overview video I sent him. That covers his entire meet prep and just the general planning. So it's the block overview for block one, but I felt like it was a good example video to use because it covers the next multiple blocks and kind of the long-term planning. Again, I haven't written those blocks yet, but a lot of the planning is going down early on, and then we will make adjustments if necessary or as necessary. So if you're someone who's been on the fence about working with me or just wants to know more about what it's like to work with me, this video is gonna be perfect for you. Again, inside look at some of the programming. You're gonna see how I communicate with athletes and some of the long-term planning that goes into training and getting ready for powerlifting meets. So if you enjoy, leave a like, drop a comment. All my information is going to be below in the description, and my link tree will be there as well. So if you're actually interested in applying for coaching, that'll be in the link tree as well. You can also find me on Instagram at Rocket Strength Powerlifting and Powerlifting with Jake, where I have a lot more informational posts, meet recaps, athlete highlights, all sorts of things like that. So without further ado, enjoy. Okay, this is going to be the first block overview of this meet prep. So this block's basically done. We just have the one more RDL day here at the back end of the week. I've got everything for block one laid out, as well as just some stuff, kind of just general planning going into the meet. Some numbers for the deadlift here, but really just where things are going to go. So start of a 4-week macro cycle, okay? This is all going to be one macro cycle here. I'm just going to highlight it blue for now. These 4 blocks will make up the totality of meet prep, right? So I'm going to kind of go through some of the long-term planning stuff and then get into this block specifically. This block will be a 5-week block. We're going to throw an intro week on the front for 2 reasons. One, we just came off a really heavy week and it was just a heavy block and kind of a big push in general. And I think it makes sense. Let's pull back. Let's give you a chill week. But 2, we need to delay the start of this structure so that it lines up with meet day. The other thing is you're going to be training in. So same approach we took last meet. We're going to train in this go around. So there will be no additional taper week. And we'll actually just line up the heavy week 4 with meet week itself. So your heaviest lifts of prep will actually take place on this block here. So this week itself will actually be your heaviest lifts of prep. This is where we're going to kind of hit, those hopefully are close to, if not all-time PRs. And then we'll kind of try to maintain a lot of that momentum to hit higher going into the meet. So the way the pacing is going to work for a lot of the lifts, both bench, well, really squat, bench, and deadlift. So for squat and deadlift specifically, we're going to run triples block 1, and then we'll run doubles block 2. The goal is PRs for the most part. So I'd like a PR triple on squat and deadlift and then a PR double on squat and deadlift if possible. That's kind of the hope. From there, we'll then go into singles. And this first block probably won't be PRs. It might be all-time PRs. If they are, they'll be small. But I want to try to set us up to hopefully hit lifts that have some room in the tank. So the goal is to hit something where we now have predictive power for building attempts, as well as predictive power for building your next block out. But I don't want to empty the tank and lose momentum. I want to maintain momentum so that we can train into the meet and hopefully have more on the day. So ideally for your deadlift, I'm planning about 260, right? That should be hopefully by the time we get there about an RP 8 to 9, leaving 7 or so kilos in the tank. And then we can build your final block up to hit something like 265 or 267 or something like that. So that's kind of the game plan there. Same thing goes for squat. Again, we'll probably end up working up to 235. It's in a perfect world, this is probably going to end up being 220. So that way we can chip the double PR here. This is 210 that we're chipping this triple PR here. And then probably hitting something like 235 for 1. And then building up to something like 240 on meet day, hopefully. With deadlift or bench press rather, we're going to run 2 blocks of doubles and we're going to be a little more aggressive with bench press. So with this, we're gonna like kind of hit a feeler block for block 1, and then the cash out block 2. So this is gonna probably end up being like 120 for 2 or 117 for 2. Your best double that I have is 115. We just did 112 for 2 on your secondary day. I think 115 matching that block 1, hitting a 117 or 120 block 2. We'll just say 117 and be conservative for now. For block 3, we'll hit that feeler block of singles, probably work up to 122.5, match that all-time PR which you just hit yesterday. And then from there, we'll probably work to 125, 127, somewhere in that range. Again, these numbers are all subject to change. Training could go really well, and we could go above these numbers. Training could also go, less well, and we may need to adjust downwards. It's just going to depend on kind of how things are trending. And then, yeah, again, for deadlift, like we're going to plan probably about 245 for 2 next block. That will chip. We'll be +5 over your double PR here. And then we'll probably plan about 260. That's kind of where I'm hoping we're at. But if we're not quite there, that's okay. And then from there, we'll end up, hopefully ramping up to more. Your best lifts, again, from last prep or last meet, we hit the 217 squat. We barely missed 227. Fly landed on the bar, essentially. And, 1 kilo less. And I think you would hit it. It's very, very close. So, I mean, already kind of pacing for a very big squat PR. Hopefully, again, very early, too early to kind of be building your attempts out. But I think we're going to be in that ballpark range of 235 to 240, I think. So that's, awesome to see. Bench press 117 last meet. Like I said, 120 plus, I think, is where we're going to be. You just hit 122. Your bench showed up very strong last meet. I think if we can peak it the same way, you're probably pressing 127. Bench is super strong right now, or more, maybe 130. So we're probably seeing a nice increase on bench press as well. And then 257.5 deadlift, which I think we're going to end up, pulling hopefully more than that as well. So into the actual programming itself, again, intro week here. I'm going to gloss over it, but essentially this is just going to be a deload week. I got pretty aggressive with how much I'm pulling back, and I pulled back more than I might maybe normally would for a week like this because I really do want things to be chill. I want you to deload. I want you to recover. I want you to feel very, very, very good going into your week 1. And in fact, I don't even mind if you feel a little flat going into week 1. I think we need the big pullback. I think this is a good time to do it and get it out of the way. And then for the rest of the prep, we can really just spend the next 4 months like really chipping away, building and maintaining momentum. So I think this is going to be a necessary week here. So just pay close attention to accessories, pay close attention to your rep ranges on your comp movements and stuff like that, just because some of those are moved around, and pay close attention to set count. A lot of that's different as well. Loading, obviously, will be lesser as well. So getting into the actual block 4 weeks here, we're going to run triples on squat. I'm going to work you up pretty much to, like I mentioned, 210. That should be a PR triple for you. It'll be a 2.5 kilo PR. And we're going to be conservative early in prep. I would rather get a little bit aggressive later. Maybe block 3 is like, hey, maybe I know a lot of your PRs on squat lately have been undershooting, which is a good thing, right? Like if you're hitting an all-time PR double or triple or single and it's at or below the RPE cap, that's literally perfect, right? Later in prep, we'll get a little more aggressive, but I want to maintain the momentum we have right now and not exhaust and lose that momentum that we have and the progress we're making. So obviously what we're doing is working. Let's just keep doing it. And then late in prep, when it's like, okay, hey, we need numbers now. We need numbers. We don't want to leave room on the platform or leave any stone unturned. Then it's, okay, now we can throw an extra 5 kilos on this single if we maybe normally wouldn't do it coming up on the meet, to try to kind of give us, put us in a better position for higher numbers on the day. So top triple, top set of 5 up to 185. And the idea behind this is we'll take 185. It's 2.5 over what you were hitting for your primary 5s to start last macro cycle, which was just a 3-block macro cycle. But that'll put us in a good spot. And we hit 182 to finish the block 2 blocks in a row. So we'll probably go 185. We might go 187 the following block. We'll see. I know we just hit 185. 187 for 4s. So we might end up, extending to that there, and then we can go like 190, 192 for 4s, because you'll end up doing 4s on these 2 blocks here. Leg press after that, I mean, pretty straightforward. Just going to keep that one lower rep set in. I want to see where we were last block. 6 to 8, 12 to 15. I'm going to go a little bit higher on the rep count here because I want to leave a little room to progress these. As you know, I like to kind of start the reps higher early on in like a, a push, a macro cycle, and then drop them as we go to kind of get some artificial load on the bar, even if, obviously it's tough to just continue to make a bunch of progress on accessories, and that's not necessarily the goal to throw a bunch on your accessories, but, we want to make progress on them, but it can be difficult to continue to make progress on a lift you're just training once a week that's happening after squat, after bench, after deadlift, whatever. So just moving the reps down is a way to, hey, let's get more load on the bar without really changing much and needing to kind of like take away from the main lifts or whatever. So we'll plan that. Yeah. Make sure I did that across the block. Nope. And I'll leave your 12 to 15s in here. And again, we just want to make sure we're slowly adding weight to these over the course of multiple blocks and whatnot. As for your secondary day, pause double. I'm going to go doubles for a block, maybe 2, depending on how it goes, just to get away from the singles. I know I've liked the singles and it's going well, but it's like we've done it for 3 blocks in a row. Let's just do a block of doubles, see what happens. Maybe it goes well, maybe it doesn't, or maybe it makes no difference. I think it's going to probably make no difference. We'll do it for a block just to break up the monotony, and then we'll get right back into the singles. Unless it goes like super well and it's like, wow, maybe the double is better. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. But I think finishing you 195 and the next block going to 200, and then the block after that going 202, and the block after that going 202 to 205. And again, slowly letting this day progress. This day doesn't need to get too crazy. We've just, kind of stumbled on, hey, we need a little less workload on this day. We don't need as much stimulus to kind of get you feeling good. After that, pause dumbbell, Bulgarian split squats, just pause the one heavy set just to kind of promote control, and then just bang the reps out on this set. They don't need to be heavy. And then from there, leg extension, the one really hard set, RP10 to failure. I want these. Actually, you know what? Failure sounds more fun. So do the one really hard set. And yeah, I mean, if you have to go past 15 reps, that's fine. In fact, I'll just do this. Boom. 10 to 15 or more. So I just want you with a load that you can at least do 10 reps with. Actually, I like to say 12 to 15 or more. That'll be better, I think. Let's go a little higher rep there. But I want you to pick a weight that you can probably do 12 to 15 reps and failing somewhere in that range. But if you end up needing to go past the 15 and you fail closer to 16 or 17 or 18, I'm fine with that. To me, just one really hard set of the leg extension there. So that's squat. With bench press, again, we've really landed on, hey, that secondary day doesn't need to be much. It needs to be one moderate to high intensity set, and that's kind of it. The back downs can be pretty chill. We've learned that that's primary day is really the day we're going to load up, and the secondary day can just chill. Or the tertiary day can just chill. So the tertiary day, I made 0 changes to. I literally took exactly what we did last block. I don't think we're quite ready to push the loading on this. If we watch like where you were, let me get it pulled up here. If we watch where you were with this 110, it was good, but I don't think it's quite where I want to be to try to give you a bunch of more load. So, I mean, watching this for the 3 count, very clean, but it's not like super snappy. It's like right where I want that to be. And I think if I give you 112, it's going to get a little too heavy. I also just don't want to get that tertiary day and from a loading standpoint too close to your primary day. So I think we'll go 110 for one more block, then we'll probably go 112 for the next 2, then maybe 115 to end prep. Again, this is all just perfect world. Everything goes amazing. So we'll see. But I think that's a good spot to be. After that 3x5, the loading should be slightly heavier there because I bumped that training max up. The secondary days, that top set of 4, that's going to end up working its way up to 107. And then I think we're going to do triples next block. Yeah, this needs to say secondary. Let me fix that. All right, fix that. So, where were we? Up to 4s here at 107. Next block we'll go to triples. So secondary 3s will end up working up to probably kind of in that 107 to 1, probably 107, probably 110 range. Probably take 110, we'll probably go 112 for 2, and we'll probably go 115 for 2. Probably. Again, if things go well, probably more. That's definitely probably where we'll be though at the floor. And then for the primary day, so I've got dumbbell press in here. I'm going to leave that be. Again, deadlift's just going, or bench is just going so well. No sense to kind of change any of this up for right now. I just move the reps up a little bit just to, give us room to kind of bring those down some across prep. And then top double, top set of 5, the 2x5, none of that's changing. All going to stay the same. It's going really, really well. So 4 sets here, 3-4 sets there. Yeah, perfect. And then weighted dips after that, giving you the 2 ascending sets. I want to work up to the 1 hard set. Again, reps are a little bit higher. We will quickly bring those down. The dumbbell press probably isn't going to come down a ton. Probably get down to like 6 to 8s. But these are probably going to get to like 4s to 5s by the end of prep. I want to push these. I think with your longer range of motion, we're just going to get a ton out of the weighted dips as well. And this is kind of more of a hypertrophy option for us. This is more of like a, hey, let's like continue to build strength in this movement pattern that carries over so well to the bench press. Triceps after that. So that is bench. And then deadlift, we're going to run triples. Now, I actually could not find a PR triple for you. I do not, from what I've looked back, couldn't find us doing triples. I think we've just done doubles and singles. So this will be different. I think 232 is the number. Your best double's 240. If we work backwards from that, I think 232 is your spot. If we need to, we can take 230. I'm fine with that. Somewhere in that range. I think we can set us up for the 245 double though, which can hopefully lead us into like a 260 single. So that's kind of, I'm trying to take where do I want to be and let's work backwards. Same way I would across a block. I'm kind of doing it across all 4 blocks, the whole macro cycle. Start, where do I want to end us at in 4 months? Where do I want to be in March? And then let's work backwards. March, right? March, yeah. So I've got you working up to 232. And then back downs are going to stay the percentage based. And we'll start the block at 197, 210, 220, 232. We'll take 190 for your intro week. Volume's down here as well. And then your secondary day, the RDLs have been phenomenal. Those are just going super well. And I want to continue to push those. So I've got you doing 147, 150, 155, 160, 165. As for accessories, if there's anything in here you're like, dude, I'm tired of doing this exercise, can we take it out? I will. I just kind of hit the reset button on it, but I kept all the exercise selection in here because I just like where it's at. Again, I love my upper back focus rows. This is probably something that I'm giving to like pretty much every client on like a day where I want minimal low back fatigue, but I want to train the back. So we throw the chest support in there. It's all upper back stuff. And then the close grip lat pull down shouldn't be fatiguing on the low back because it's a vertical pull, right? But we can kind of hit antagonizing back groups. So like we can go upper back, keep the elbows high. It's going to be upper back, and then lats, the elbows are staying close to the body. So that'll be the lats more so. And then that secondary session, we've got the neutral grip lat pull down, shoulder width neutral grip lat pull down. Again, arms are a little bit wider. Gonna hit some upper back, hit a little bit of lat, and then we kind of hit the low back. Kind of gets stressed a little from the close grip row, but it should be fine. So yeah, if there is anything though where you're like, dude, do we have to do this back exercise or can we change it up? Let me know, as well as other exercises too. But the back stuff I'm definitely really fluid with, where I can like, plug and play with pretty much any exercise essentially. So a little bit of a longer block overview, almost 20 minutes there. But I wanted to really dive into everything for prep, so that way, like over the next 4 months, we're on the exact same page of where things are going to go. And again, we don't have to stick to this perfectly. If we need to get away from this, we definitely can. So next 3 won't be quite this long, but I just wanted to really lay everything out there so that there's like a one clear path to meet day. So let me know if there's any questions, comments, concerns. I know we got the one more session today, and then the block will start up on Monday, so should be good to go.